An Unearthly Child was the first produced Doctor Who serial, which contained 4 total episodes. These episodes premiered between the 23rd of November 1963 to the 14th of December that same year. On a foggy London night, a policeman makes his rounds, passing by a junkyard which curiously holds a police box which emits an eerie hum. Our scenery shifts to Coal Hill School, where another long day has finally come to a close. History teacher Barbara Wright and science teacher Ian Chesterton muse about one of their enigmatic students, Susan Foreman. They both note that her knowledge of history and science surpassed the rest of the class and possibly even the teachers. She is, however, a little bit lacking in the knowledge department of modern day culture. Barbara had previously encouraged her to specialize in history, but Susan was resistant to her suggestion about in-home tutoring, stating that her grandfather, whom she lives with, doesn't like strangers. Barbara also notes the address she received from the school secretary led not to a house, but a junkyard. This intrigues both of the teachers to follow Susan after school. Barbara and Ian witness Susan entering the junkyard alone. From a distance, they search through the junkyard when Ian becomes transfixed by a police box there, which is still humming. They hear someone approach and quickly hide. An old man stops outside of the box and unlocks it. Susan's voice from inside greets the old man. This triggers Ian and Barbara to confront the old man, who swiftly shuts the door and claims that no one is inside. They threaten to go to the police to get to the bottom of this when the doors open from the inside and the teachers push past the old man to enter the box. Inside, they are both astounded by how much larger the space is. In the center is a hexagonal control console in which a shocked Susan stands at. The old man, her grandfather, is furious at the pair and Susan for bringing them unintentionally. The old man is introduced by Susan as simply the Doctor and states that this police box is a disguise for their space-time ship, which Susan claims to have named TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimensions in Space. They explain that they are alien refugees from another planet and another time. Despite Susan's protests, the Doctor prepares the TARDIS for takeoff, effectively kidnapping Ian and Barbara to protect Susan and himself. And the TARDIS arrives on a Paleolithic landscape over which falls the shadow of an unseen man. A tribe of cavemen are gathered around one of their members, Za. Za is the son of the tribe's previous leader, who never taught his son the secret of making fire. As Za futilely tries to make fire, a female tribe elder throws scorn on Za's abilities and states that Kal, a stranger from another tribe, would be a far better leader. Her, a young cave woman, tries to pacify him but also warns him that if he loses his position as the leader of the tribe, he will lose her. Back at the TARDIS, Ian and Barbara regain consciousness to find the Doctor and Susan puzzled over readings displayed on the TARDIS's main console. The Doctor tells them they have gone back in time. This annoys Ian, who demands concrete proof. So the Doctor opens the door, revealing the barren desert, and all 4 go outside. The Doctor professes confusion as to why the TARDIS has retained the shape of a police box, though.
It's still a police box. Why hasn't it changed? Dear, dear. How very disturbing.
It should have changed. Wonder why it hasn't happened this time.
The ship, you mean?
Yes, it's been an attic column and a sedan chair.
Disguising itself wherever it goes.
Yes, that's right. But it hasn't happened this time.
The Doctor moves elsewhere, looking for samples of rocks and plants to estimate the current date when the caveman who was watching the TARDIS earlier sneaks up and attacks him. His 3 companions hear him shout and run to the rescue. But when they get there, all they find is the Doctor's bag, hat, and Geiger counter smashed. Susan hysterically runs off to look for him. Ian and Barbara soon follow, but not before Ian finds the sand is freezing cold. Horg, hers father, tells Za that Kal claims he knew how to make fire in his old tribe. Za angrily responds that Kal's tribe all died out. Kal would have died too if his tribe had not saved him. At this point, Kal, who attacked the Doctor, comes in with the old man's unconscious body. Kal tells the tribe that he saw the Doctor make fire and he should be the leader of the tribe now. Za scorns and mocks Call, but Horg states that Call is doing far more for the tribe than Za, and if his captive can create fire, Call should be made the leader. Za says the doctor should be taken to the Cave of Skulls and sacrificed, so Orb will return. At this point, the doctor wakes up. He says he can create the fire for the whole tribe without any need for killing, but he soon realizes he has lost his matches. When he tells the tribe he will need to go back to the TARDIS before they get fire, Za mocks Call, saying his promise of an old man who could make fire was lies. The tribe turns against Call, and in his frustration, he pulls the knife on the doctor. Call is on the verge of killing him when Susan, Barbara, and Ian attack the tribe, knocking Call off the doctor. The companions are soon, however, overpowered. Call approaches Barbara, but before he can kill her, Za gets in the way and says all four must be taken to the Cave of Skulls and sacrificed as a gift to Orb. The doctor and his companions are led away, and Horg tries to take her from Za, but Za insists that with the doctor's sacrifice, Orb will return and fire will as well. The four travelers are sealed in the tribe's Cave of Skulls with the bones of many prisoners, when Ian notices that the skulls have all been split open. Ian, Barbara, and Susan try to escape, however the doctor is unhelpful. Back at the main cave, the tribe is asleep. The female elder wakes up and steals Za's knife and heads towards the Cave of Skulls. Unbeknownst to the old woman, however, Her has seen her. When she arrives at the Cave of Skulls, she is met by a large stone that blocks the door. However, she seems to know an alternative route. Inside the Cave of Skulls, the doctor and the others are trying to free Ian so he can defend them if needed. Susan screams as the elder bursts through a gap in the undergrowth that blocks the cave. Her wakes Za and calls him out to the cave to inform him that the elder has took his knife and headed out to the Cave of Skulls. Her believes that the elder is afraid of fire, so she will kill the four to prevent the tribe from learning this secret. However, the elder uses the knife to free the four, whilst outside Za and Her try to move the stone hurriedly. Just as the stone budges, the four escape out the back of the cave. Za, frustrated, throws the elder to the floor. Her convinces Za that the only way he will retain the tribe's leadership is by capturing the four and harnessing the fire. Za and Her plunge into the forest in pursuit of the doctor. The four become quickly lost in the forest, trying to find their way back to the TARDIS. Yet again, Ian and the doctor fall out as Ian takes the lead. Whilst they argue, Barbara trips and falls and lands on a dead boar and screams, which then alerts Za and Her. The movement of the undergrowth impels the doctor and his companions to hide. While Za and Her catch up with them, Za is attacked by a wild beast and is injured badly. Against the doctor's wishes, Barbara and Ian try to help Za. The doctor even tries to stop Susan from going, insinuating that he would leave Ian and Barbara behind. Ian and Barbara help Za, much to Her's bemusement. The doctor picks up a stone and makes for Za, but Ian stops him. The doctor claims that he is going to get Za to draw a map with the stone showing the way to the TARDIS. Back at the settlement, Call has returned to the cave to find it empty. He questions the elder, who says she let the doctor and his companions free. Call then kills her and returns to the tribe to inform them that it was Za who let the doctor free so he could keep the fire to himself. The tribe is skeptical, and when Call says the elder will back him up, they return to the cave to discover the dead elder. And he says it must have been Za who killed her. Call then and there declares himself leader and takes his new tribe off to find Za. The doctor and his companions finally find the TARDIS. However, their escape attempt is foiled when they see the tribesmen appear. They turn to flee, but the way is blocked by Call and the other tribesmen. The four travelers are returned once again to the encampment. At first, the tribe is hostile towards Za and his friends, especially when they accuse him of killing the tribal elder. But the doctor convinces the tribe that Call killed her by tricking him into showing the tribe his bloody knife. The doctor and Ian lead the tribe in an attack which drives Call back into the forest. The recovered Za is again declared leader, but instead of expressing his gratitude by freeing the travelers as the doctor expected, he orders them return to the Cave of Skulls, where he will either learn the secret of fire from them or sacrifice them to Orb. In the cave, Ian makes fire for Za, using friction for a spark, hoping this gift will convince the tribe to set them free. Za comes to speak with them and is entranced by the fire. Ian says that in his tribe, all members know how to make fire. Za asks Ian if he is the leader of his tribe, and he responds,
No, he is our leader.
Are you going to set us free?
Meanwhile, Kal sneaks back into the camp and kills the guard outside of the cave and attacks Za. Kal sees the fire and immediately slashes at Za with his axe. Za grabs a thick branch to defend himself and breaks Kal's axe with it. Finally, Za gains the upper hand, chokes Kal in a headlock, and knocks him to the cave floor. With the fire at his disposal, Za is now undisputed. However, he still leaves the doctor and his companions to languish in the cave. After going out hunting, Za decrees that the travelers will merge with the tribe rather than leave, and orders them confined to the cave indefinitely. Meanwhile, the four try to think of means of escape. Absent-mindedly, Susan places a skull in the flame. This leads Ian to devise a plan to scare and distract the tribe long enough to let them flee. 4 skulls are placed on top of burning torches. This ghoulish vision distracts the cave dwellers, allowing the travelers to escape into the forest. But this time, they make it back inside the TARDIS. The TARDIS then dematerializes as the tribemen throw spears at the craft, leaving them staring in amazement. Za, however, looks on in defeat. The Doctor explains that he has no idea where or when they will end up next because the TARDIS is not displaying any data to help him direct the ship. In time, the scanner shows their new destination, a mysterious jungle with strange-looking trees. Before they go out to explore the planet, the Doctor asks Susan to check the radiation levels.
It's reading normal, Grandfather.
This concludes An Unearthly Child, the first story serial in the Doctor Who series. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and even subscribing for more Doctor Who recaps. A special thank you to Soundboard, Takaharu, and V. Lucas, and all my other patrons for making this video and more possible. Next week's episode will feature the Doctor's most famous villains, the Daleks.